Who was the most memorable person you sat next to during an airline flight or train ride? 1. My then girlfriend, now wife, and I were flying from Philly to Raleigh for Thanksgiving a few years ago. I happened to sit next to a soldier who was on leave and planning to surprise his family for the holiday. They had no idea he was coming home. He lived in a small town a couple of hours from the airport. He planned on catching the train from RDU. He didn't know that the train station was in the next town over. A cab ride would have been expensive and hard to find. I told him that my dad had been in the army and we'd be happy to get him to the train station. My parents pulled up to the baggage claim to pick us up and I introduced them and he hopped in our car and we took him to the train station, which was in the opposite direction from where we were going. Turned out he was stationed in Germany and my dad had been also. They talked the whole ride about the service. I don't know how the surprise went, but that was glad that my family could take the time to help him out and we hope he had a great leave and holiday. 2. My wife, but I wasn't sitting next to her. Some very nervous Boeing executive was in first class. She is on a DC-10 headed for DC, then Boston. The Boeing fellow is one very nervous type and not happy to be on a DC-10. He tries to strike up a conversation. Are you traveling alone? No. Who are you traveling with? My husband. Why aren't you sitting together? We never sit together. Which is your husband? Motioning around first class. Oh, he's not up here. Back in coach? No. He's up front flying this thing. He's the captain. The guy physically melts as if all the air inside of him was released. Sheesh. If you're not afraid to fly with him. I'm not worried turns over and goes to sleep. She told me about this as we were sitting down to a lobster dinner in Boston. I upset some other diners as I started laughing so hard I'm laughing now just remembering how she told the story. Yup. A memorable lady. 3. I was an investigator traveling to Los Angeles on a case. An older lady, I'm thinking she was prob in her 60s, was sitting beside me. We had a very pleasant conversation. I learned she lived in GA, and when we parted company, I gave her a business card. A few months later she called me and told me of a neighborhood crime problem around her home that the local police either could not or would not deal with. I was acquainted with a GBI agent and I contacted him and asked if he could get some attention brought to her problem. A few months after, I got another call from the lady. She had been contacted by the GBI agent, and within a few weeks, the drug crime problem in her neighborhood had been cleared up with some undercover investigation, and several arrests. The lady was happy, and grateful to GBI. One never knows, do one? 4. I was flying with my teenage daughter on a full flight from Florida to Seattle with a